All right, let's see if this works. Let's find out.
I can't see you.
Yeah, you won't be able to see
I
it.
don't hear it.
Right, you
Okay.
still won't be able to see it.
Usually I can't see Michael, but I can see you, so I mean, whatever.
Right, yeah, that's because whoever's running the stream basically can't show their face. But yes, one's in the chat, guys, if you can hear us and see us, if this stream is actually running, because it didn't work the first time. So yeah, we're actually doing this again. We came in hot. You missed all the rants. They were very good. But now they will be rehashed a little bit, and probably, you know, they'll still be as good, at least from Nick. But I have no idea
Yeah, well,
how.
I've got this to help me out now, so don't you worry.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't do two of them without a drink. So.
Oh, I know, right? So so guys, if you are here, yeah, definitely one's in the chat for sure. I don't know if they are watching, so I don't know. But either way, we will go for probably about 15 minutes here, and but yeah, basically, yeah, 4-0 is absolutely unacceptable, and yeah, to have 3 goals scored on you in a matter of 4 minutes, absolutely ridiculous. You cannot do that. That's shambles, and that is absolutely where the team let their heads drop. The as far as the morale, I mean, yeah, it seems like it is completely bereft of any sort of confidence. And as far as, yeah, players looking motivated or anything like that, I mean, yeah, the first half, you know, we probably had the better chances. VAR wasn't kind to us. TRA probably deserved a penalty. But as far as, you know, the better chances, they did come from us. But we didn't put the ball in the back of the net, or we were called offside. Yeah, it's one of those things where, yeah, it's just not good enough on any end. And then, yeah, once you get, you know, the second goal scored on you, the heads completely dropped, and we didn't see enough fight. I mean, to not even get a consolation goal. When you scored 3 goals against them at the Bends, or 4 goals, I mean, yeah, that's just outrageous.
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, like you, obviously their defense isn't good. So, you know, and ours isn't either. But by any means, you cannot lay an egg. Because, yeah, we're getting to that point. We're getting to that point where this is depressing. This is to a point where, like, you start questioning your life choices. And it's just, you know, from an entertainment standpoint, where's the entertainment? Like, yeah, it's not only all about goals, but, I mean, yes, you had to rotate the squad a little bit, the stadium with the Major League Baseball club, but yeah, it's definitely one of those. We give some shouts out to Gavin. He says, I can hear, but the stream is very slow. Never mind, it's fixed for now. Kind of back and forth, actually. Okay, so, yeah, my internet connection. I was, you know, on the, on the horn with my internet provider today, and, yeah, seems like that's still a problem. And, you know, that's, it is what it is. But,
All right, that's the worst.
yeah.
There's nothing worse.
Yeah, basically during the match, I was trying to toggle getting my Wi-Fi that was changed essentially because I had to do a factory reset, and yeah, so that was super fun as well. But Nick, welcome. Let us know your thoughts about this match.
Well, you know, the rant didn't disappoint the second time either. You did a great job.
Cheers.
Yeah. So, AJ, I'll ask you again. Are you a U.S. men's national team guy?
Yeah, it's very very difficult to care, and I want to be, but oftentimes I find myself just like this, but I actually really care about Atlanta United actually, but it's a U.S. men's national team. It's a little bit of like, what have they done for me? So, but go on.
Yeah, yeah. And, USA, when they come around in a big tournament, I'm always super into it. And in between, it's like, my fifth or sixth sporting priority. But,
Yep.
I hadn't sat down and watched a game in a while. So I sat down on Tuesday night and I watched the U.S. concede 4 goals in 36 minutes, which, at least it took us 56, not 36. But I was listening to one of my favorite, worldwide soccer podcasters talk about that match after it was over, maybe the next day. And he said, and I quote, "It was a waste of time for everyone involved." And we're almost at that point with this. Like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what players went out there and were good tonight? I mean, we'll go through it really quickly, but there's not much to go out and say, like, yeah, that was good. Say, that was bad. But we knew all of it was bad before, and it just showed itself again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the coaching staff probably didn't learn anything. Like, no players cemented themselves and said, I am a starter in this position, or I can be this bench guy, or I made the bench for the first time and I made my debut, or whatever else. Congratulations to Nick Sesak. If that's the only, positive we have today, then so be it. But, like, we're getting to the point. We played 18 games out of 34, plus a couple Leagues Cup games. I mean, we're going to get grouped again. We know that. But we're at the point where you need to make me, like, care about road games. For home games, like, I'll get to go see my friends, get to go to the tailgate, get my little drinks, get my cheap stadium food that we all love, like, see the Fan TV guys, see some other people I know, my friend group in the supporter section, all that. Like, that doesn't go away with home games. And that's honestly the reason most of us are probably still going at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta make me care about road games, man. Like, this can't be like this. It can't be half of our road games being 3-0, 4-0, 3-0. I can think of like 3 or 4 of those this year. That can't be what this is. You got to at least be competitive. You got to make this like 4-1, 3-1 to make me like have something. Because this ain't it. This can't keep going on. And it's a culture problem down to the root of the club. This is not on Garth Lagerwey. This is not on Chris Henderson. This is not on Ronnie Dyla. What's Ronnie Dyla supposed to do? Tell Derek Williams to not lose the ball and be faster than the guy? He's not. What's he supposed to do? Tell Brooks to not pass it to the other team for the 3rd game this year where we concede a goal because he does that?
Yeah.
And
it's basically that. Yeah, I mean, it's like,
where we're at.
yeah, it's beyond them. It's definitely the players. And, I think like we said on the other stream that no one will ever see, that's...
Oh, boy.
But that basically the players, they seem like they've been poisoned. And, yeah, even new players that come in, they get infected as well with just this dire motivation, dire just way of playing that just seems like they always have a mistake in them. It's every player. I mean, when Miggy's making mistakes, it's every player. It is permeating the club. And at this point, like, no one is safe, unfortunately, because players that were performing before they came as players are now not performing. And, yes, Ronnie Dyla probably should get them performing better than this. Like I said on the other thing, yeah, if you run this through a simulation, through AIFC or Football Manager, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be this bad. On paper, this team should not be bad. And, if you want to go into your point about, yeah, it's like pundits, fans everywhere. I mean, it's like, yeah, we got the wool put over our eyes.
Everybody. Like in our Fan TV community, we did the prediction contest at the beginning of the year, and I think the average position for Atlanta United was 4th or 5th. I mean, that's not unreasonable based on what we thought about this team, but from where that was supposed to be to where they are now, like this is very clearly like a first percentile outcome. Like if you're on the bell curve, if 100 percentile is we're winning the Shield by 10 points, and 0th is all the players are hurt and we're playing the twos, we're like at the first percentile. Like we're right next to the worst possible case scenario for what this is realistically going to be.
Yeah.
Just sad. It's
No,
it's sad. It's not fun to sit here and talk about. It's not fun to write about. It's not fun to think about. Like right when we ended that first stream, I said, AJ, go and do something that makes you happy.
right.
And yeah, now you are doing this again.
Exactly. Which props to you for doing this with me again. And it is that it's even on a curve, it's like, yeah, you don't expect this. This is bad for business. This is for everyone involved. Like, we don't want to be talking about the team like this, but I mean, this requires this type of reality, this type of realness, because this is not acceptable by any means. Because yes, the team hasn't changed that much. They are the team that snuck into the playoffs. The team that, yes, somehow beat Messi and Inter Miami. Exactly. It was completely a team that
they were 12 until they got a miracle.
Right.
Multiple miracles.
Yeah.
Be that way about it.
And yeah, basically, like you mentioned in the the stream that no one will ever see, 2 players added that, yes, in theory, should be making us way, way better. But again, it's something that's broken inside the club. And unfortunately, a lot of the team is constructed by Carlos Bocanegra. And yeah, the haunting of that still persists. But is it...
And that's exactly why I can't blame anyone who's there now. Because the players have had 3 coaches. 3 coaches have not been able to solve this. And that's why I've been screaming from the rooftop, it is not the coach. Like, it's not Chris. Chris just got here. Chris picked 2 players on this roster because Click and Togashi were already here. The only other guys we added, besides Latte Lath and Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were here already. Those other 2 guys, those were, I don't know who picked those players. But
yeah. Okay, so they're saying the stream is not working right. We may have to kind of do as best as we can.
You know what?
Probably give our thoughts, and then
Alright.
But
Maybe it's a sign.
Maybe it's a sign. But we tried. I even called my internet provider before this. So you know what? Put our hands up. It's the team laid an egg. Internet service provider also laid an egg, and I mean it's all.
You know what, AJ? We didn't lay an egg. We came in here and did our part, and maybe we're the only ones that can say that. So.
Agreed. It's this. Like, there's 18 people watching right now. Thank you guys for even sticking around at 11.
Much appreciated.
Right now as well. But yeah, I mean, just for the sake of it, where we can we can hear okay. We can hear okay. That's good. Well, at the very least, Nick, air out your thoughts. We'll try to make do.
Yeah, I mean, really only one more thought that I wanted to bring up from the last time we did this was I left the match early. I was hanging out with Scars and Spikes, great guys over there. They had a little meetup today at one of their favorite burger spots. That was a good hangout. It made the game worth it for me. And I left early. That's never happened for me. I left in like the 75th minute and just drove home. I knew I was going to come on this afterwards, so I was like, let me just get home, and it's raining and gross out. Like, let me just get home. And listening to Conti and Longshore on the way home was very interesting. More interesting than what was going on in the game, because they were talking about punting, and they wouldn't say the word punting. Get off the shelf. They obviously can't say the word punt because they work for the team. They get a paycheck to call the games.
It would have been amazing if that was a human that you were talking to.
Yeah, it would have been. I really wanted to name my cats like people names, but we came up with really funny other names, so we didn't.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we'll meet them another day. They're not interested right now.
Yeah.
But when Longshore is talking about like seeing what you have for 2026, like that means we're at fourth down and we're punting, right? That's what that is. And hearing him talk about like, I want to see the homegrowns. I want to see the young guys. I want to see the guys we haven't seen so far this year. What I would say to that is, like, Brooks Lennon, thank you, I'm good. Derek Williams, thank you, I'm good. We've seen a lot of Jay Fortune this year. Over the last couple of years, his role has gotten bigger and bigger. We've seen Matt Edwards this year kind of step into a role, and he can really do a job for you out there in a back four or back three. Great. Let's see Noah Cobb now. I enjoyed the Will Riley experience enough to want to see more. He was great against Cincinnati. I don't think he was that good today. The team was worse out there today than it was against Cincinnati, and he looked better because the team was better. I could see more Will Riley. Like, Mateusz Klick, I'm good, you know. Let's see. Give me some DCQ, some Jonqui, some Morales, some whoever you want to put out there that hasn't already like gone and chat the bed this year. Like, let's do one of those. Let's do some of that. Like, let's do something else. And I'm trying not to be. He just got his toy down from the high shelf where it's kept. I've never seen him do that. Sorry. I know Ronnie has tried just about everything he could possibly try this year. Let's see the kids. And he just fell from 6 feet up. He's fine.
They don't have spines.
Let's see the kids. He's a kid and he's indestructible.
Exactly.
Let's see the kids. Let's see some Noah Cobb. Let's see some Morales. Let's see some more Matt Edwards, some more Jay Fortune. Don't stop doing that. I don't know. Am I missing anybody? Did I not talk about someone? Some Will Riley, some.
Yeah, I mean,
Jay Fortune.
basically the homegrowns that have seen not a ton of minutes. I mean, yeah, we saw Brennan a little bit as well, and
There he goes.
it's that it's just like these players that have potential that should probably see more playing time now, unfortunately, because 18 games in the season, it is quite depressing that we're pretty much talking about at least some in the fan base, some in the punditry, pretty much that 2025 is over. And I mean, I think there's stuff to look forward to, so at least there's that.
Yep.
But yeah, as far as I agree. We've seen enough. We know what we have in some of these players already, and it's not good enough on the pitch, and it's clear as day.
It's not.
And it's ruining the experience for a lot of people, actually. And that's harsh to say, but it's an entertainment business.
It's not wrong. Like, the truth hurts, and I'll kind of leave it at this. I mean, we can keep going about it. I don't think we need to talk about the VAR thing. Like, I don't think we need to talk about the ref. I don't think we need to talk about the 3 missed chances because it's the same old story. It's the same old shit. Like, anyways, the last thing I'm going to leave us with is, like, let's just see something else. And by seeing something else, if the kids are out there blowing it 4-0, they're going to learn from that. They're going to come back and understand and learn and grow. The 30-year-olds aren't. And, like, that's not to say that 30-year-olds aren't learning more about the game and kind of doing their thing, but they're kind of past the peak of their career. Let's see some people who have some room to grow. That would make me care if this is going to be 4-0, 3-0 on the road. That would make me interested. That would give us something to talk about, frankly, that's not boring to listen to for the few people that are listening. I mean, like, let's see something else.
Right.
Let's see just anything else. You gotta make us care.
Right.
You gotta make me invested again.
Because these players,
natural optimist here.
Because these players that are the homegrowns, they either have grown up in the area, they saw Atl United win the MLS Cup, and clearly it's like they probably idolize Miguel Almiron. And beyond that, though, it is they will play for the badge, and I don't think you'll see them down tools like we saw in this match where you gave up 3 goals in 4 minutes, which should never ever happen. Like that's
you
as
just have to laugh, man.
right. That's as bad as it can get, really. I mean, the only worse thing is 3 goals in 3 minutes, and that's I don't even know how like the broadcaster was like trying to math it, and it wasn't mathing. It was just like how does that even happen? Like it's basically we kicked off, we turned it over, and they scored. And it's just pretty much, and it's just, yeah. But I think there's some really great comments. But go ahead.
Last thing for real this time. I was sitting next to Henry Higuita when that happened, and we were like complaining about the third goal, like looking at each other complaining. We both look at the TV. The NYC play, I think it was Hannes Wolf.
Yeah.
Johannes Wolf is already past the center circle and past our last defender. And Henry just goes, they're going to get a fourth. And that's what happened.
Yep.
And man, it was just that quick. Like it was that quick. Like we were looking at the replay on our phones from Twitter, and then looked up at the screen, saw him at center circle by himself. He just goes, "They're gonna get a fourth." No sadness, no anger, just
acceptance. Yep. Man.
And that's where we're at.
It is. It really is, and that's really really sad. I think there is a comment here that I think I'll have you stick around for just real quick because I think it's
sure.
hilarious.
I mean, I'm here, so.
Yeah. I mean, basically, okay, so, yeah, Lennon, Kyle Apgar saying Lennon was a contributor to 3 of those goals. We need to move on from him this summer. Yeah, agreed. He's clearly not the same since his injury, as his read of the game is so slow. I don't know if it's his read of the game. His read of the game has always been kind of poor, to be honest there. But, yeah, Williams and Click, Apgar says as well, are both not... my screen keeps going black, so I'm trying to... are both not doing it either. Just start running out the up-and-coming players. Yes, agreed. Justin Flournet says it's the season of turn off at the half. I think that's what's hilarious is like...
Yeah, they had it in the first half. Like,
yeah.
They created 3 chances. They were solid defensively. Like, they were getting it up the field. Like... Man, and I mean, sure, it's the meme, it's the Gen Z joke, but like they did have me in the first half. Even when they went down 1-0, I was sitting there thinking like the proof of concept is there. You just like had a PK opportunity. He hit the bar and he had the ball in the net. And then if Thierry wasn't freaking doing whatever he was doing, like that counts. Then it's 1-0, and then they could have conceded the 4, but game state probably changes that. Like the way game state changes it when you concede 3 goals in 4 minutes.
Right.
So I'm
imagine.
Maybe just said, but I'm.
Yeah. Imagine if like people just turned off at the half and then just didn't look at the score line afterward. It's like some of these games you might actually walk away like, United played pretty well. That was pretty good. But
I could probably name 4 or 5 of those off the top of my head, like right now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like
Alice at home.
Yeah, if we were just if we were just living in bliss, that's what it would be. But unfortunately, we have to play 90 minutes, and if we can't do that, that's just not our MO.
You're right.
But this one also, in just 100 says, AJ, I feel this is 80% heart and 20% head issue. What do you think? I'll let you answer that first, and then I'll answer.
80% heart, 20% head. Well, I'm gonna give a little more to the up here part because, AJ, you went to training this year. I think I saw some Fan TV social videos. You've been to one of the training sessions this year for fans.
Yep.
I have 2, and I don't think we were at the same one. I think I went to the more recent one maybe a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But watching the way training was going, and it was the week before then they won 2 home games, so I don't know what training would be like now.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the last week of training before everyone was there before the international break. And there was, you always hear the pundits, the media corps say, like, there's no, this team doesn't care. Like, I don't buy that. I don't like it when the fans say that. And I, never had an opinion because I hadn't seen it myself. And now I'm with them. I would say heart is... I might actually flip it. I might say it's 80% mental up here and 20% heart because for those of you that don't know, I'm a middle school teacher. My job is to get a bunch of middle schoolers to do all the same thing correctly at the same time. It's terrible and also great at the same time if you are into that sort of thing. But like when you teach middle schoolers, it's 80% up here, maybe more, and that's what I see out of this group. Like when your job is to teach middle schoolers a skill, like 80% of it is them believing they can do it. But there's no belief, and Latte Laugh doesn't think he can go score a goal because he hasn't done it since March 29th or whatever the day was.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it's basically 2 months, 2.5 months, pretty much.
So I think I'm going to flip your percentages there for whoever asked that question. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to say 80% here, 20% hard, because there's enough guys out there. I'll close with this before you go on this. There's enough guys out there who will still do this, like bleed for the badge, I think. Some of those guys weren't here. Jay wasn't here. Czech wasn't here. But Saba was still out there. I don't think we ever questioned Saba's effort level every time he's out there. I think Tiare gave his all for 60 minutes. He got beat up, too, a couple times.
Like, he
was on the ground.
Smacked.
Times that for besides the BK. You know, so, and some of your homegrowns out there we've talked about. Edwards was out there. Brennan was out there. Riley was out there. Like, Moranchik was decent. Like, I don't think this was the issue today. It has been, but that wasn't the issue today. So what percentage would you give this?
Yeah, I mean, just on your wrangling middle schoolers, that's like, you know, you're like a ringmaster at a circus. That sounds, like oodles of fun. But just kidding. I would never. Yeah, that's more power to you.
Sometimes
you're right. But right, and I think it is a ton mental right now because these players, like I mentioned, are down tooling. Like, I don't think majority of these players are not giving their all. It's when the moment becomes just, you know, when it flips, when they get scored on, when they concede, when something goes wrong for them, when they don't get a call. It just, you know, all of that is a confluence of them not being able to keep their head. And, you know, it seems like, you know, from what you see with, you know, the videos from the social media on YouTube, you know, the access, you know, videos, basically you see a lot of these players, they absolutely they care. They, you know, they're absolutely trying, but the difficulty is at this level, when you make mistakes, you get punished, and you get punished very swiftly. You get punished, unfortunately, in a really ruthless manner. And unfortunately, I don't think our players are ruthless enough to have that killer instinct, to know that they have to be a bastard out there at all times to win.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead, man.
Well, so as you know, I'm a Spurs fan. We're on the opposite side of the derby. And I have a love-hate relationship with Christian Romero, our center back.
Yeah.
He's not healthy enough. He clearly cares about Argentina more than he cares about Spurs. But in the Europa League final, anytime the game stopped after Spurs scored, we won 1-0. It was our first trophy in a long time. But we won 1-0. Anytime after that goal was scored, and he's wearing the armband while he does this, on a yellow for most of the game, like, he's just moving the ball away. He's like standing where the ball is supposed to go. He is saying something to whoever's about to take the free kick, just in everyone's face, in everyone's ears, like just all the little off-ball stuff that just gets in the opponent's head. Like, we don't have any of that. We don't have any of that. Like, that's what you were just talking about. And
we used to have so much of that.
Kind of sparked that thought. Yeah. Like, we don't have any of that kind of.
Yeah,
you know,
just the shithouse.
I mean, we've seen it a little bit from Mateusz Klich, like provoking the you know, Cesar Araujo to get the red against Orlando, but like that, it can't be from the guy who's not a starter. Like, you need that guy on the field. Like, Dax was that guy in the midfield last year. Like, you need that guy. Like, Bartek can be that guy because you can just tell how much he cares and wants to win, but you need someone to be that guy all the time who's going to be out there for 30 out of 34 games or 3,000 minutes or whatever your number is going to be, because it makes such a difference. And Romero did not play 2/3 of Tottenham's games this year, and they finished 17th in the league. When Romero was on the field, They played at a 2 point per game pace. That would have gotten them second in the league this year when Romero was on the field. Like that stuff matters.
Yeah, it's like LGP who was that guy for us,
Yeah.
and it's that
Good.
level of just shithousery that just makes a difference. And yeah, it is that kind of Argentine kind of spirit that obviously does wonders to get that little bit of X factor to either get the crowd against you, to get the crowd for you, and those little percentages help your team. And yeah,
And it,
who on this team is fighting for their teammates in that respect, where like they get a bad call. Yeah,
who was pissed when Jamal got leveled in the box? And
exactly.
didn't get a call. Like
Look,
who was like they're bitching at the ref for the call. They're not mad because their teammates on the ground still. Like that's what I need. That's what I need to see.
and that's the
when-
difficulty with Brad Guzan being the captain. That's the difficulty.
Right, like
Brad-
Guzan's all the way in goal.
Yeah.
Like he's the captain, I get it, but you got to have somebody out there.
Exactly.
And I don't always love going back to the 17, 18, 19 teams, but when Parkhurst had the armband, he was good cop. He was talking to the ref, put your arm around, like, hey, can we like talk about this? Like Lorenowitz was like the gif of him just shoving over the Red Bulls guy, Kamar Lawrence, after that one game. Like Lorenowitz was bad cop. And if Guzan's going to be in goal, you can't really be bad cop. You need somebody else to go and do that. And I think that's fine. Like you can have multiple people on the field fill multiple leadership roles. I think that's great. Like Romero is not always the captain of Tottenham. Son is the captain of Tottenham. That's not Son's game. That's what Romero's for.
Yeah, Son's the nice guy. It's
that
that.
Parkhurst's thing.
Yeah, and
That was Lorenowitz's thing, right?
right, and that's a great
It
point.
matters.
It's these things that these intangibles that we just don't have in our squad, and that's where the squad building is poor because it's very clear leadership is not in abundance. It is at a very high scarcity, unfortunately, and I mean it's just the players look lost. They don't fight for each other, and like who can we actually say that? I mean, it's this. It's like you see Man City, the surrounding a ref when a call goes, not their way, and they get away with a lot of not the mass confrontation that they should probably be fined for a good bit. But when have you actually seen that for Atl United? Like it's one of these things where
Not in a while.
yeah, and it's like that penalty should have been absolutely somebody screaming in the ear of the ref. And yeah, you risk getting a yellow. Yeah, LGP might have been maligned by some of the fan base for getting a ton of yellows, but I mean, was it effective? Hell yes, it was effective because I mean, I think
He did win 3
Yeah.
yellows in the year, the 15.
exactly
That's one, like literally every other game.
right.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, but that's the thing, we still had the depth to be able to handle that. Yes, Tam played a big part in that, but it is, the right players were picked, and I don't know why so much of that got lost, but I think there's, I think very clear that a lot of the helping hands that kind of made it happen also either moved on or let go. Maybe ego got kind of too big, where they're like, oh, well, we don't need to replace that role. I've got it, and I think that's probably one of the big reasons why we are where we are at. But I think we're pretty close to I think a good stopping point. Cal Apgar has a couple more comments. I would say 60% heart, 40% mental. Many of the players I wouldn't see as focused on growth, and that when my screen goes, that causes them. Oh boy, screen, come on, screen. To think that they can't do anything. We had something close to that energy with GG, and we haven't had anyone close to that since. I mean, I agree. I mean, it's. I think if Latte Lat was scoring on a more consistent basis, he probably would be a little bit more vocal. But when you're not, unfortunately, performing.
Also,
yeah.
and something Henry and Tommy kind of talked to me about when I was with them today was Gregerson was that guy in preseason. You know, we saw him get the armband one or two of the games over there. When they, I think when they were down in Florida, at the crazy high school IMG, I think it's called.
IMG Academy.
You know, Gregerson got the armband for one or two of those preseason games, and apparently Gregerson kind of is that guy. And to get in people's faces and do a little bit of that, and
He was the captain, I think, at Bordeaux.
There, man.
So yeah, it's one of those things like, yeah, well, the players that maybe have vice captain in them, unfortunately, they can't stay healthy, and Schleich can't stay on the pitch.
I was like, he's not been out there in 3 months. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's nothing you can do.
Right. And so it's like, yeah, it's part of the squad building. It's part of the training methods. It's part of, our medical staff. It's a lot of things. It's not just one thing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, yeah, I mean, it's like if it was easily pinnable as the reason why, it would be solved by now. So, obviously it's way above our pay grades. So, yeah, the crux of it is the club needs to figure it out though, because it's certainly not on fans or anything to just completely just blindly be okay with all of this. Like, our role not to just blindly throw our money to something that really doesn't at this point give a whole lot back. And it's, I think what gives back is self, but as far as entertainment, which is what this is, it is absolutely not hitting those marks. And like, maybe sans the 1 or 2 games every 3 months pretty much is at the pace that we're talking about. It's not good enough.
Right. I mean, that's it. Like, they won opening day in February. They won at the end of March, and they won 2 at the end of May. So I mean,
yeah,
maybe we'll get 3 at the end of July. We're gonna go like that.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Hopefully they come against DC and Toronto, because those are the most likely. But yeah, I mean, it ultimately is that. But
dude, if you don't get 3 or 4 points out of those games, like, the season's done. Like, just wrap it up.
Yeah, I mean,
because if you come out of this 6-game road trip with nothing, and I will say, having Red Bulls and NYCFC back to back, like your bogey team, the baseball stadium, then Columbus, who I still think is the greatest team I've ever seen in this league, and Messi, as 4 games in a row, like, that sucks. I get it. So if you come out of that with 0, or, I mean, if you needed to come out of it with 1 or 2 points, but that was these 2 matches, not the 2 we have coming up. Like, Columbus and Miami, like, it's not happening. If it does, like a parade, right? But then you get DC and Toronto. You cannot come out of that with nothing. You have to get 3, like, minimum. You got to win one of those.
Yeah, it's
probably got to get a tie at least in the upper.
Right. It's at least 2, and
if you come out of that with nothing,
3. Yeah, should be the
God.
mark. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you come out with 6, it's a miracle as well. But yeah, if we get
your season is paid, you're alive. Like,
right.
If you come out with 4, you're alive. 3, like, okay, you did your job. If you win 1, lose 1. But man, if they're at home on Wednesday the 16th of July against the fighting Greg Berhalters, and they've lost every single one of the 6-game road trip, pack it up, man. Like, we'll see you next year. That's where this is going to be, and that sucks.
It does.
That should not be the case.
And I mean, I think the great question is this: Will Ronnie Dyla survive it in the fans' eyes? Because yes, not every single fan is going to know the in-depths, the depths of the conversation as far as what's going on at the club, and ultimately does matter in the grand the grand cachet of the Atlanta United sphere. So do you think if that does happen, does Ronnie Dyla survive it?
Does he survive it? I think he's going to get preseason next year no matter what, based on Garth's comments. But I would hope that the fan base would see sweeping changes to the player personnel and say, let's give this a chance next year. But if if by the time the first World Cup game kicks off here next year, if they're still below the playoff line, like, fire everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's in a year's time. We have a year to get to that point. But if it gets to a year from now and it's still this, when you can change half the roster, fire everybody. Everybody. Like, other than Arthur Blank, like, everybody beneath that. Like, everybody can go. And I will sit here and defend Garth and defend Chris and defend Ronnie until that happens.
Mm-hmm.
But if that happens, if we get there, everybody.
Yeah. And
Everybody.
I think the real question is, if that does happen, which I really hope it doesn't, but will Arthur Blank be ruthless enough to actually make that happen? He hasn't shown he has, you know, the audacity maybe to do that, you know, in his history. So
No, for what I think if that were to happen realistically, like, the fans would probably hate everybody, and maybe rightfully so. I think it would be right to call for everyone's job. Ronnie would go. I don't think Chris would go. I think Chris would get maybe at least as a couple chances to ride it. Like, Boganero got so many after 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could really trace all of this back to that 2019 offseason. Maybe we'll do that during the offseason sometime.
Yeah.
But
as an alternate
from
universe
what I've been
video,
told, what I've heard, right? And you know, people are not going to like this. You can see this in our Discord. People calling for Garth's job. From what I have been told from someone inside the club, Garth, he's the CEO of Atlanta United. He is so embedded, not only in Atlanta United, but in the AMBSC like enterprises.
mm-hmm.
Like, when the day I went to training, Chris Henderson came out and said hi to us, and I had a great conversation with him. Super nice guy, but he told us, like, oh, Garth's not here today. He's in Flowery Branch today, like, meeting with Mr. Blank.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the level Garth is at.
Right.
Like, Darren would have never been fired had he not stepped away. Now, Darren stepped away from a sinking ship that he knew was going down like the Titan, but Darren would have never been fired. I think Garth is in the same boat. I think Garth is here until he doesn't want to be or chooses to get a promotion within the league or something like that. I think Garth is here, and that's kind of what I've been told. So I would not expect that change. For those of you calling for that change, I wouldn't expect that anytime soon. I would expect Chris would get a lot of leeway. God, at least as much as Carlos got. If he didn't, I'd be annoyed.
I mean,
if we get to that scenario,
right? Exactly. I mean, it would be fair, but I think, you know, it is, you know,
yes.
the easy ways out, which usually it's the head coach first, and then it's the technical director or sporting director.
You got 10, 12 players out of contract at the end of the year. That's almost half the roster.
Right.
And you'll change out some other people that aren't out of contract too. Like, fix it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, almost half the roster.
Yeah, these are the ample opportunities. Yeah. But, yeah, I think we should leave it there. One last comment.
We make this one as long as the one that no one will
ever
see. So
we did somehow. We clearly, we're passionate about the team. We don't know when to shut up. And but Cameron says, so we're a bad team right now. What's the point of playing ordinary football? Why not go on attack from get-go? And if we get scored on, oh well. I mean, I think that's what they're trying to do. Unfortunately, it's not that they're trying to play safe all the time, but I think after they got scored on 4 times, yes, the team was playing incredibly safe and was not. They were pretty much gun shy, and I think they were trying to not get scored on again. So.
And Game State from NYC's perspective will do that to you too. Like, they're like, have the ball, enjoy it. We're good. We have our 4. So
good. But from the off, I mean, I think that's what they were trying to do. But this team has shown they are not clinical, and I think that's the crux of it. But yeah, Nick, thank you so much. As always, have a good rest of your night, and enjoy that whiskey.
Talk to you later.
It's probably
make you happy.
Yeah, indeed, man. All right, bud. Be well.
All right, see ya.
See ya. All right, so guys, we will pretty much call it there. But thank you guys so much for watching the second iteration